3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. Liftoff. Americans return to space as Discovery clears the tower.
Welcome back to TTMTrades Daily Review. Today we're going to be talking about tickers ARDM, ONTX, and ticker MYO. Yes, I've said ticker MYO. I've made plenty of money on this one during its run, and I think it has another push left in it. So today those are the three we're going to be reviewing. We are up to 2,700 followers. Hey, I deeply appreciate every single one of you, and as you see, I was watching one of my old videos, and at the same time we're up to 1,177 subscribers. I'm still shooting for that 10,000 at the end of the year. 10,000 at the end of the year. So go tell your auntie, uncle, grandma, cousin, sister, niece, baby daddy to come subscribe to the channel, and let's continue making money together. All right, so we're gonna jump. Hold on, before we jump into this, right, because I had a guy message me pretty much saying, hey, I've been in this trade for 2 days based off your video. When shall I expect profit? So let me tell you all something. All right, I am a swing trader, meaning when I'm looking at stocks and I'm presenting them to you, I'm presenting them to you with a 1 to 2 week swing mentality. When I do a daily review, I'm not saying the next day this stock is going to take off. I'm saying, hey, I'm seeing a setup that I'm familiar with. You know, I like it. There's potential profit in this either tomorrow or down the road. Same thing when I do my top 3 for the week. When I do my top 3 for the week, that's just me saying I see great setups that you can make low risk entries into these stocks for potential profit heading into the future. I'm not saying they're going to rock it to 100% this week. Now, granted, we've made some great calls, but I am a swing trader, so that is what I'm telling you, all right? And I mean, we've made plenty of great calls that have all taken off here recently. I mean, we've talked about CDTI with its possible reversal on that one jumping up 60%. We talked about iPads and it, you know, pushing up into 50, which is already happening. We talked about RKDA, which it took about a week for the reversal to happen. We talked about Tickadare, which is still in this bullish symmetrical triangle pending a breakout. We talked about ANY when it broke out 60%. Ticker XXII, you know, TRV and VTVT before it broke out. We called both breakouts on VTVT, both of them. All right, so when I'm presenting these stocks, I'm presenting them to you with the sense that there's potential profit in it in a week or two, all right, or whatever the time frame may be. But I'm not saying, hey, at this very moment it is going to take off. Okay, I'm a very patient swing trader. As long as there's money to be made, I'll wait however long I need to. Okay, so again, TTMTrades, we're gonna jump right into this ticker ARDM. All right, so ticker ARDM, I have been in this one approximately going on 2 weeks now. All right, I entered this one a little early by over jumping a gun. Entered, I'm not even gonna tell you why I entered that, because I don't want nobody trying to track my entries and exits. Okay, I want you to enter and exit on your own trading plans. Okay, so again, downtrend, had to run up, bull showed strength. As it began to pull back, it pulled back right on that 1 standard deviation, found support, ran up from 118 to 172, and then we seen it pulling back again to that 1 standard deviation where it held as support for a course of about 5 to 6 days. And then, as you can see, the Bollinger Bands were beginning to constrict. So we knew that that 1 standard deviation Bollinger Band down here was holding as a nice steady support. We knew the Bollinger Bands were constricting, showing that the volatility was very low. So I knew that there would be a breakout here sometime soon. So I made my entry. Now, as you can see, it is beginning to trend upwards and break out. All right, instead of bands constricting and coming inward, you can see they're beginning to each turn outwards. Right, these are curling up and these are curling up. This is showing that the volatility is coming within the stock and is breaking out of that tight bid ask that it was in. Okay, so what we want to see tomorrow is we want to see a continuation of this to break out. Now, there were 2 gaps that needed to be filled. One at $2, which we played back in March, that $2 gap fill here, and then there was another one up here at about 335. Now, I'm not saying this is going to run from 160 to 335, okay? What I potentially see is that this will push back up into $2 for a retest, and if it breaks the $2 on high volume, it'll probably peak out where this little channel was at before the gap down, right at 250 to 258. All right, so that's what we're looking at for potential profit, but I would definitely continue to follow this one going until tomorrow. Now, one thing to pay attention to with any consolidation pattern, there's always low volume. So the volume over the course of the past couple of weeks or so have been pretty low, sitting right at 26,000, 30,000, 11,000, and then finally today you get a breakout above average volume, 57,000 shares traded over 54,000 shares traded. Now, do I normally trade stocks with this low amount of volume? No, I do not. But if I was a day trader, I would definitely not be playing in a stock like this that's only trading 54,000 shares a day. Okay, that's not enough liquidity for me to get out as far as a day trader, but I am a swing trader. Okay, so I can enter a position one day on 50,000 volume, and then as it begins to break out based off what I'm seeing, and as other traders come in, late bloomers, and they pile in on top of this, then that increases the liquidity, and it allows me to not dump, but trade my shares to the next person who see value in the stock at whatever price they're seeing it at. All right, but I will continue to watch this one tomorrow to see if it pushes up into that $2 range. That's ticker ARDM. And then one thing I also pay attention to on ticker ARDM on a big picture scale, on the weekly, it is trending upwards with the 10-period moving average holding it as support. So the only overhead resistance really is, like we said, that $2 gap fill, which has already happened, and then your middle Bollinger Band sitting right here at 238. So we want to try to play this into that middle Bollinger Band 238, take profits, and then allow it to pull back as the bulls and bears try to find equilibrium from that moment forward. All right, ticker ONTX. Now, we called this one back around May 22nd because it started trending above its 10-period moving average in a tight consolidation pattern, and then it ran up to 45 cents. All right, for some nice gain, that middle Bollinger Band test that we always talk about, and then as it began to pull back, it did not pull back below this channel. It actually pulled back and held above it, and it continued to find support on this 10-period moving average, along with holding above the 30-period moving average, which is that middle Bollinger Band. So today was on high volume with a nice small gap up, not too big, but just from this gap up, I don't like that setup. So tomorrow what we want to see is a pullback to that 10-period moving average, which is following it right at 39 cents. Try to make an entry right at 39. The volume today shows that there's a lot of buyers in this one. And as you can see, again, the Bollinger Bands are beginning to constrict to reflect this low volatility back in this area. But as you can see now, the volatility is beginning to pick up, and you should have a breakout here soon to the upside, just looking at the amount of buying power in each one of these 2 days compared to the profit taking and selling on the other days, which are pretty below average volume. So I will continue to watch this one, try to make an entry right at 39, and then play the breakout on the Bollinger Bands to head to the upside for some potential profit. Now, you do have some overhead resistance right here at about 50 to 51 cents where this little channel is at, and then if you break through that, you're looking at right around 60 for the next line of resistance, and then you got a gap fill up here at 76. But let's take it step by step. We're not saying that this is going to jump all the way to 76 cents. What we are saying is there's a potential for profit, a low risk entry around 39 cents, and we'll ride this one up from the breakout to make some potential profit. Okay, but that's ticker ONTX. And last but not least, ticker MYO. So we've been swinging this one. Man, we swung this one back here in December from $2.60 to $4. We swung it here up to $5.63, and then we swung it here from that $3.75 up to $5.52. And then I don't think I played this swing here. Now, as you can see, ticker MYO has been on this slight downtrend on low volume, which shows no interest in the prices as it continues to drop, and it's holding below its 10-period moving average. Now, one thing I think is going to hold above $3. Okay, and the reason why I say $3, if we go big picture, if you zoom out to the weekly, this is a pretty brand new stock. Okay, it hasn't been around that long, as you can see. There's not enough data for the weekly charts to actually show you everything. But looking at the Bollinger Bands, as you can see here, you've had this volatility push up into this middle Bollinger Band, rejected again, rejected, and then the pullback. Now notice with each pullback where it finds support. Support on a 1 standard deviation, rejected, support on a 1 standard deviation, rejected in this area, and then it's pulling back, and guess where it may be finding supported again? On the 1 standard deviation right here, which is sitting right at $3.06. So if I was to try to make a low risk high profit play, then I would probably play that 1 standard deviation Bollinger Band right at 306 to see if I can get my entry. And then of course if you break 306 or wherever you want to take your exit at, then take your exit due to that 1 standard deviation Bollinger Band not holding. But again, as you can see, even here, even on a weekly time frame with the volatility and the run-ups, it's been consolidating in the general price range from 280 to about 550. So now the Bollinger Bands are beginning to constrict to reflect that low volatility. Now we know with the low volatility and the Bollinger Bands constricting on a bigger picture as far as the weekly, then we know that's the calm before the storm, because that means there's a potential breakout to the upside. So I will continue to watch this one. I would have more faith in the potential breakout to the upside on the bigger picture if on the daily we see a bounce off that 306 price range and then a break above 344 where our 10-period moving average is acting as resistance at, and then a push into that 370 and a possible hold above it. That would be very bullish to show that there's a potential breakout to the upside, instead of for this to continue to head downward into a downtrend. Okay, but right now 306 big picture wise as far as the weekly looks like a solid entry, which correlates with each and every pullback in that $3 range. As you can see here, 311 got down to a low of 280, but still closed at around 305 in that general area. And then again you push back down into that 288 range, but again it closed back in that 310 range, and now you get another pullback in that $3 range. So the low threes is looking like fair game to the bulls and where they want to make their entry. The big thing is here, sooner or later, big picture wise, the bulls or bears have to take control, and one has to overpower the other for this to break out to the upside or downside, seeing that the Bollinger Bands are constricting. So going back to the daily, I will continue to watch this pullback here tomorrow, and I will see if throughout this week, if it closes above its 10-period moving average, which is currently at 322, which is acting as resistance, holding this down. If it closes above 322, which is currently aligned with the 1 standard deviation Bollinger Band at 321, if it closes above that at the end of the week, then that would show me a sign that on the bigger picture time frame, the smaller picture as far as the daily is adding up into it, and we could possibly see a reversal here sometime soon. But the low $3 area is key to ticker MYO, where bulls like to make their entries. All right, TTMTrades, man, that's my daily review on ticker ARDM, which is currently up 8% today. Ticker ONTX, which is currently up 6% today, and ticker MYO, which is still trending downwards to try to find an area where the bulls want to make an entry in that low $3 range. All right, but we've been following this one for quite some time now. Ticker ARDM, like I said, back May 21st, we've been tracking this one for a while, waiting on that breakout. And even ticker ONTX, high risk, high reward plays. Right here is one of them, ONTX. So been tracking this one for a little minute. Let's see what happens with the both of them come tomorrow, and let's see if that low $3 range for holds for ticker MYO. But till next time, if you learned anything, TTMTrades, hit that follow button on my StockTips account and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Let's continue making money together. I'm out.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.